Hello, good evening and welcome. It's time for the Front Row Racing PCS, the Project Cars Sundays, round 7 at the Donnington Park National Circuit. In the Ginetta G55 GT3s, the drivers are almost ready, and I think both of us commentators are almost ready. I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'll be in the commentary box and joined as per usual on a Sunday as of late. James Arnold Schwarzenegger Hulkenberg. How are you this evening, James?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Only okay. You sure you don't want to come back in a minute? Right, okay. The Donington Park National Circuit, I've got to admit, it's one of my favourites. I don't live far away from the circuit. I do love racing around there. Also, sadly, never done it in real life. Only on Project Cars. Looks like we have everyone apart from Jason ready. So if you'd like to just send Jason another quick invite for us, please, James. Now, we're going to be on for a 15-minute qualifying session, a 5-minute warm-up, and then 31 laps of the Donington National Circuit. And it could be an interesting one. We put a weather forecast out on Mondays for the following week's events, and the weather forecast for Donington simply said miserable. And I can honestly tell you, being only about 5 miles away from Donington, it is miserable weather at the moment. Although it is dark and cold, but we're not going to be racing in the dark, I don't think. But anyway, while we just hang on a moment for Jason, I'm quickly going to go through last week's race a little bit and the standings. If you can remember it at all, James, we had the round 6 at Bathurst last week, where Hesselden went and took victory. But I believe you have a little bit of information about Hesselden and his racing this week.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to carry over. I don't know if the situation's been rectified, but unfortunately for Hessel and 90, he's notified us that his steering wheel has packed up, and as that's happened, he's also notified me when he uses the pad, he's not on his A game. So he wants to come into this race, he wants to tie up this championship. He's got a decent lead at the moment, but he wants to get it all sorted and done. Unfortunately, are we 3 races away from the end?
Well, this is round 7, so we've got 7, 8, 9 and 10, so we've got 4 races, which is a maximum 100 points.
100 points, so this could get very interesting in the latter half of the season, because we don't know how long it's going to take for Hessel to get his machinery back in tip-top condition. That
is true. Right, I reckon it's time to send the drivers over to the circuit. So the result from last week, Hesselden did take victory. GT Gavin came 2nd, Live Bry 3rd, Chris Core 4th, Woolhouse 5th, Adam 4600 6th, Dave the Harp 7th, Driver Montana in 8th, Jason in 9th, Neo Tig 10th, GBM Beardy in 11th, and Lielmo McElroy finished 12th, with Jonesy not scoring any points. As we make our way over to the Donington track, Hesselden is leading the way. He's got 124 points, and Live Bry is in 2nd place on 85. So that's the gap that Hesselden needs to not be reduced too much. Dave the Harp is in 3rd place, Chris Core in 2nd place, and they're on 82 and 81 points. Then we've got Adam 4600 on 76, GT Gavin on 51, Driver Montana on 45, Woolhouse on 42, Lielmo McElroy on 37, Jason on 36, GBM Beardy on 35, and I can hear rain, Jonesy on 33, Neo Tig on 30, Mull Ryan on 21. And that just about wraps up the points at the moment. Now, I said I can hear rain, and looking up in the top, it does say current weather, thunderstorm. It's not looking overly nice out there. So I'm going to return back to the pit garage, I think. But that is mainly so that I can...
Looks to me like a Scottish summer.
It definitely does. Now, I tell you what, quite a lot of the drivers have got right out onto the track, and I don't blame them. Dave the Harp's still sat in the pits, as is Adam and GT Gavin. Hesselden, he's heading out there. GBM Beardy, he's keeping his beard dry. I mean, Donington, it's one of those tracks where in the dry, it's a brilliant circuit. In the wet, it can be an absolute nightmare because of the different levels of elevation. up where Livebry is now, at Redgate and Coppice, you could end up quite happily with a drier part of the circuit. But when you get to where the old hairpin is, you're going to end up finding yourself in a swimming pool. So, yeah, not going to be easy for the guys in these conditions.
Yeah, we've got Lielmo McElroy with a car in front of him who's just about to start his lap. Now, unfortunately, you don't want to start with a car right in front of you, and that's exactly what he's got. He's jumping almost in the kitty there. As here we go down to turn 1, we've got more cars just exiting the pit lane. She's going to get very busy on this lap for Lielmo.
Oh, and
turn 1.
A big flash of lightning
into the kitty layer.
I wonder if he just got put off there.
Over.
He may have been put off there by the big flash of lightning that just went off as he approached. But Livebry was the car that was just ahead of him. He's down at the old hairpin now in the grey car. Oh, and a huge crack of thunder. Yeah, either that or what I had for dinner last night's making a reappearance, or will be in about 20 minutes' time. I mean, Livebry, he's one of those drivers that recently and at Bathurst he showed fantastic speed. But I think, was it Livebry at Bathurst who spun it on the final lap, final corner?
We've got, I think so. We've got Beardy giving love taps to a car in front of him. This is getting very interested in heading in. Jonesy, I believe it is, just heading into the final chicane.
Well, I tell you what, Jonesy must be a right looker, because he does end up getting quite a few love taps from a few people. Livebry's just taken a lot of curb at the final corner. Might not have been intentional, but I think he could be one of the first to set a time. But it's looking really, really wet out there today, and he hasn't been allowed to set his time.
We've got Hesselden heading down into the final chicane. This is looking a touch tidier than a lot of other drivers, so maybe he has got his wheel back in working order.
Quite possibly.
Start-finish line.
I did make a mistake. Redgate is turn 1. I was talking about McLean's and Coppice earlier about being up the hill. Now Redgate, it's a really tricky corner, as Hesselden's showing. It's one of those corners that in the dry... he's gone first with a 14.9. Jones is in second at the moment. Redgate, it's one of those corners that it kind of tempts you to go really, really fast into it, but you really, really can't. Oh, Jonesy's ran a little bit wide.
We've got Beardy running wide as well. A lot of these drivers, I mean, it's a fairly decent circuit with a decent amount of space, and the drivers are wanting to, for some reason, get as close as they can on their flying laps. Well,
you're saying it's a circuit that has a lot of space on it. To a degree it is, but with this national circuit, it is the shorter version, and it can get very, very busy. I mean, if you get yourself damage and you've got a pit for damage, you could quite easily find yourself a lap or two down by the time you get back out the pit. So we've got a car in the background going very, very deep then, as GBM Beardy is about to cross the line, but not set a time yet. So we'll see what he... oh yes, he has 8th place, a 1:36.2. I must remember the timing is towards the end of the pit lane. Dave the Harp, he's only in 7th place at the moment. Now, you had a fantastic race with him at Monaco on Friday in the LMP2s. Do you know if he's feeling confident about what he's got ahead of him here tonight?
Well, I do know that Dave does really, really enjoy Donington Park, and like I found out on Friday, he's super quick because he goes P1 with a 14.4 and another flash of lightning.
Now, for us in the commentary box, we're nice and dry, and for the viewers, I mean, the viewers, if they're at home watching, they'll be nice and dry. But the fans around the circuit, and I have sat around this circuit, there is nowhere to hide. If you're out there, you're getting soaked. So from our perspective, would you like to see it continue raining, or do you want to see a bit of dry running here in qualifying, or even in the race?
Yeah, I better start praying and ask God if he can do us a favour and get us some sunshine. But I am seeing a touch of sunshine on circuit, but it's just the reflection of the sun on circuit. So maybe these clouds, maybe by the end of this session, could possibly die down. That may be the fastest time to run your tyres.
Sorry, Dave the Harp's just been bumped down to third place as GBM Beardy has just done a 1:12.2. GT Gavin has done a 1:12.9, both on another flying lap. So we'll keep on board with GT Gavin. The car ahead goes straight on at the old hairpin.
It's a bit of lag there.
It is a bit of lag. I bet that'll be Lee Elmo McElroy, given the colour scheme on his car. Now, I tell you what, James, you can...
it's Woolhouse.
Oh dear, well...
Woolhouse has got epic disconnection, probably from the lightning that may have just struck his car.
Possibly. Now, James, you can pray to whichever god you like that it dries up, but I'm going to pray to Senna that it doesn't, because this is one of the tracks that he absolutely adored in the wet.
Oh yeah. We're at 1992 or at 91.
It was one of them. I don't remember the year. I just remember that opening lap and going from about sixth place to first.
93 when Prost and Damon Hill were in the Williams and he just blitzed past them.
Could well have been. Is GT Gavin going to improve on his lap times? There's another flash of lightning. He's not going to improve. GBM Beardy has done, though. He's done a 12.1. Hesselden is now up to third place with a 1:13.9. Dave the Harp is in fourth place.
Just heading into the final chicane. He's overcooked it by a mile.
He's headed into the gravel.
There'll be some choice words going on inside that cockpit as he jumps back into the garage.
So it's getting busy up at Coppice Corner and down the Dunlop Straight. Driver Montana, who's got two cars ahead of him. I think one of them might be Jason. He may have managed to get in, I'm not sure. But yeah, that driver Montana has got a bit of traffic, but in these conditions it might help. If the car ahead can remove a bit of the water, it might give him a slightly drier line.
Esselden's improved, but not enough to improve his position.
Okay, so we've got three cars about to cross the line in quick succession. Montana's been bumped down to seventh. Is he going to improve?
No.
No, he's not. It's Adam 4600 that's ahead of him, and he's only in 8th place at the moment. Jonesy's now down in 9th as he's making his way towards the final chicane, and the car ahead.
Surprisingly, we've got Chris Carr down in 13th place. He's usually really strong in races. Maybe he's just not as comfortable in these wet conditions. Quite
possibly. Jonesy's gone third place with a 1:13.7. There's going to be an inquiry about who's driving his car today. Neotig's
is not happy with his time. He's on a 1:11.7 and he's wanting to go out there and improve. 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
Neotig's got himself up to 5th place. Live Bride's in 6th place. Dave the Harp's now down to 7th place. Driver Montana is in 8th. Woolhouse is in 9th coming out of the pits. And we've got a lot of cars on track doing everything they can to try and get a lap in. But really, I need to just go and pick someone. Bart Dude's managed to get in with us. He's coming out on circuit. Chris Corr's leaving the garage. Let's go and see who... Let's go and see Neotig, I reckon, currently in 5th place. But I tell you what will get confusing for us, James. I mean, you look at how busy the circuit is now. Just wait until cars start going a lap down if that happens.
Yeah,
I think...
Hopefully the race won't be as intense as this. Maybe, hopefully if we get a touch of dry weather, there's another crack of thunder slaps against the commentary box. Neotig just gone over the line. Maybe he's just starting because he hasn't improved.
I think he's got Jonesy ahead of him as well, but
yeah.
I mean, if he's got Jonesy ahead of him, following him might not be a bad idea at the moment because Jonesy's lap times got him in 3rd place. I mean, at the moment he's the sort of surprise of the session.
And I believe Hesselden must have his wheel sorted on a current 1:13.8, and Dave the Harp still on a 14.4. Live Bright on a 1:14.2. So the three title contenders.
Oh, Jonesy's just had an off. Sorry, go on.
The three title contenders are out of the top 3 places at the moment.
Now, it'll make it difficult for them in the race, but it'll make it interesting for us in the race. There's Dave the Harp. Oh, the car, we've got a spinner on the final corner. I think Dave the Harp's about to cross the line. Hesselden's going to follow him.
Yeah, I think it was Bart Dude.
It could well have been. Now is Heselden going to improve on his lap time? Third place with a 13.1. He's got a few attempts to find to catch GT Gavin, who's leaving the pits now. And GBM Beardy, he's gone and put in a 1:11.7.
Yeah. GT Gavin's trying to start his lap and he's got Bart Dude right in front of him heading down. This is side-by-side action. We're not even in the race yet and it's already getting close. That's compromised his position though down the hill.
Well, GT Gavin's on an out lap though. He's only just come out of the pits. Now Livebride's gone and stolen third position with a 1:13.1 off Heselden. So every time Heselden makes some kind of gain, he's getting bumped down the order. Livebride's making his way up to McLean's corner now. I've got a feeling he's got a bit more pace in that car and in himself. I mean, if they see the lap time at the moment that GBM Beardy's got, they all need to find a second and a half.
Adam 4600's just jumped in front of Dave the Hart with a just by a tenth on a 1:13.6. He's currently in fifth, is Adam now. Heselden, sorry, Livebride just headed into the final chicane. Is he going to improve? Is he going to get second place?
It's been looking like a clean lap, a good lap. He's going for some slipstream, I think.
Nope, no improvement. Can't improve there. Has got Heselden now heading down to the back straight. Is he going to improve?
I would say he needs to, but he has got that points buffer.
Really weird line. He's cocked up that final chicane, I think.
That was a huge crack of thunder there, showing this storm might not be passed. But Heselden can't improve. Adam 4600's just had an off at turn 1. Dave the Harp is still on a 13.7, so he's managed to get into the 13s.
Wide.
Yep, a little bit of an off for Dave there. And he's only just ahead of Jonesy on lap time at the moment. Jonesy is going on for another lap, as is Neo. Driver Montana looks like he's going very slow across the start-finish line there. He's returning back to the garage, that'll be why. Oh, Leomo McElroy very, very wide at Coppice Corner. That's going to slow him right down. Chris Corr's in the pits. Anyone that's in the pits now as well is not going to get another lap in. I mean, we're looking at 1:30 to do a lap, so drivers need to be crossing the line within the next.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not 1:30, is it?
Yeah, Dave the Half will probably be the last person over the line that's going to get a lap in if he can get this last chicane right.
He just messed it up.
Completely mucked up. But it's got 7 seconds to get over the line. I don't think... Is he going to do it? He needs to get over the line with 14, 13. No, I don't think Dave will finish this lap unless he has a miracle.
He may just be able to, but
he'd have to improve by at least a second if he was going to finish this lap.
And he's been bumped down to 7th place, I believe. Heselden won't be able to get another lap in. Livebride's still in 3rd. Gavin's in the pits. GBM Beardy, he's still out there on track. So I'm going to watch him as we've got cars all over the place here. GBM Beardy's actually behind Dave the Harp on circuit, so he's not going to get his lap in, I don't think.
No.
Let's see.
Neo going a touch wide.
Neo Tig, he'll get his lap in. Sorry, James, hang on a minute. Neo Tig will finish his lap because he's in the final chicane now. Let's see if he can improve on his 1:13.3. Have you got anything else left in that car? No, he hasn't. Adam 4600 won't be able to finish his lap.
Dave the Art's out. He's been in the kitty litter.
Livebride just crosses the line, doesn't improve. And Beardy, he's going to be able to finish this lap. You know, it could be close. 3, 2, 1. No, he doesn't.
He's still got pole though, and that's all he wants.
Yep, so the grid order then. GBM Beardy in pole position, GT Gavin in 2nd, Livebride 3rd, Heselden 4th, Neotig 5th, Adam 4600 6th, Dave the Harp 7th, Jonesy in 8th, Driver Montana 9th, and Woolhouse 10th.
We've got 5 drivers all within 1 second of each other.
Very, very close there in qualifying. And the thing is, a lot of people do say that the wet conditions, they do... It's a bit of a leveller, shall we say. But I tell you what, for the 5-minute warm-up session, it's still looking very, very wet out there.
It's carried on. Yeah, it's very strange. Usually we'd see the conditions improve drastically, but maybe these drivers are going to have to get used to this intense weather, because it looked like it's settling in for the day.
I mean, let's put it this way. If you was... I mean, obviously you race on Fridays, but if you saw what the weather forecast and it said miserable, how would you go about setting up your car? Would you think, okay, it could be absolute torrential rain, let's go high downforce, get the grip in?
Yeah, well, that'd be my first instinct. Let's get as much wet practice as possible. I mean, if I'm being told that that's what the majority of the weather's going to be, let's go for it. And if it's a dry spell, I'll just have to put up with maybe a couple of drivers being a lot quicker than me down the straights, but there doesn't appear to be much difference in straight line speed in these Ginettas, so I'd just crank that downforce right on.
We've got a car massively wide at the final corner. I mean, yeah, the other thing about this circuit as well is there isn't really any long straights, so top end speed is probably not that crucial, whereas what you really need is the grip in the corners, because that's what's going to benefit you the most. I mean, for example, heading through Craner curves, if you've got not a lot of grip in your car, that becomes a very, very difficult section of the circuit. But if you've got enough grip in the car, it's just absolutely flat out and you don't even think twice about it.
Yeah. Are we going to see, though, Beardy? Is he going to come through, and is he going to be able to hold on to pole position? Because he looks super strong in the wet conditions, and if this is settling in now for the rest of the race, he's going to love it.
He will. I mean, looking at the gap he had in qualifying, by the end of the first couple of laps, he could find himself 2 or 3 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Hesselden, it doesn't really matter where you finish, as long as you finish, because unless he finishes dead last and Dave the Harp or Lifebride win, he's not going to be losing 20-25 points on them. Whereas if somebody else goes and wins the race, then it's not going to matter to Hesselden one jot where anybody else finishes, because whoever else does win the race can't really catch him up. I mean, looking at the standings again, I mean, Lifebride, he's what, 24 plus 15, so he's 39 points ahead. So Hesselden can afford to score no points here, Lifebride win, and still lead the standings. That's the buffer he's got.
There could be a shocker if Hesselden tenses up and thinks, oh, I've just got to get to the end of the race. If somebody clobbers him hard enough and a wheel comes off, that's it, it's game over.
Oh, yes. Excuse me.
And with these conditions, you're just asking for accidents.
You definitely are. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I love racing around this track, and I'm sure you don't mind it either. And I bet, as you mentioned already, Dave the Harp, he likes racing around here. But in the wet, it's a completely different ball game. I mean, we saw it at Bathurst last week, where the drivers knew the circuit, had been practicing on the circuit, but once that sun began to set, all of a sudden the drivers were blind and they couldn't see where the corners were. So the weather effects can have a massive change on what happens in the races.
Yeah. You can see in certain conditions like that, where the sun's setting, you can tell the drivers that have put tons of practice in, because they can drive the circuit half blind. Yep.
I mean, I remember one of the last things I was doing when I was driving on project cars. It's been a while, but I was driving around the Nordschleife, because I love that circuit. I mean, I don't know what it is about it. I'm a bit sadistic. I love the ones that are really, really difficult. And that track, it's a fantastic racetrack. But if that sun begins to set, then you literally do just have to remember every centimetre of that circuit, because if you don't, you're crashing because you can't see anything. But anyway, we've only got 4 seconds.
A few seconds. What are your predictions?
I've got a feeling that Beardy might run away with it, you know. Starting wet. That it is.
Oh,
I do think that
I didn't
live.
think this was going to happen.
Well, I think that Beardy will run away with it, but the light's about to go green, and away they go. Hopefully they can all get around the first few corners without too much drama.
Oh,
We've got car stationary.
Hesselden had moved. Adam 4600 drove straight into the back of him.
That's a nightmare then for Hesselden.
Happened?
Is he on the go yet?
No, he's still there. Has he stalled it?
I would hope that he hasn't, but Beardy is leading the race. It's getting quite busy. GT Gavin second, Live Bright third, Neotic fourth, Dave the Harp up to fifth, Farfber up to sixth, Bart Dude's in seventh. Then we've got Woolhouse who's jumping all over the place. Farfber's now down to seventh.
Just some news, Hesselden has retired.
Oh dear, disaster then for Hesselden as Bart Dude's in 8th, Jones is 9th, Driver Montana's 10th, McElroy 11th, Chris Core 12th, Adam 4600 in 13th, and he is going around the circuit. So, we've got a car wide, that's Elmo McElroy, massively off at Coppice Corner, I think that was.
Yeah, Chris Core's onto him now, he's heading down onto the back straight, but then up at the front, this is getting super busy. We've got Woolhouse glitching all over the place. He's gone over the gravel. I wouldn't want to be following Woolhouse. He's slowing down. What is going on with Woolhouse? I think he probably had a power boost penalty there. Oh, another cracker thunder.
I'll tell you what we have got. Dave the Harp. He needed an absolute blinder here, and you know what? He's getting one because he is now up to 4th place. He's going to need to get the hammer down, see if he can catch Live Bright, who is in 3rd, and it's still very close behind them.
Beardy's trying to pull away, but GT Gavin is hanging on to him like a fart that won't leave him alone.
So not like farting through hemp pyjamas, that's more like farting in a sleeping bag. We've all done it. Why is it when you go camping and you've got a sleeping bag and you've sort of tucked your head inside it, that's the time that your farts are deadly?
Oh, Jonesy, all over the back of Farfber, heading down onto the back straight now. This is super close. He just wants Farfber to absolutely cock up this chicane, but he's braking early.
I thought Jonesy was going for it up the inside there. I tell you what, the car behind them has got a lot of damage on the front end of the car. I'm wondering if he hit Hesselden, who didn't move. Woolhouse is making his own track. Elmo McElroy. Sorry, Elmo McElroy and Adam 4600 side by side through the final chicane.
They're driving through each other on my screen. Very strange.
They're just sharing the love as they make their way down the Wheatcroft Straight.
Chris Core's up the inside of Bart Dude. Is he going to get the move done? He's braking early. Bart Dude's braking late. And he's gone wide. Bart Dude's just made Chris look like a bit of a mug there in these wet conditions.
Just ahead of him, Elmo McElroy and Adam 4600 heading into the old hairpin.
We've got Jonesy. He's got in front of Farfber, and now he's climbing all over the back of Neotig. Neotig's being very cautious as he's catching Dave Hart. Has he got a power boost penalty? I think Neotig's through, and Dave Hart's just getting on the power. Jones has been hit by Farfber. Jones is off in the background.
He is. He's going to lose more places. He's got cars coming. That was close.
Davey Harper's just lost out to Neotig with that power boost penalty, and he's down to 5th now.
Well, you said that Neotig was looking a bit cautious. He may have been, but he's just gained 2 places from it.
The front two are pulling out, hand over fist lap time.
But
Livery's in 3rd, and he's the best of the championship leaders.
Beardy, though, he has opened up that gap to 2nd place. GT Gavin 2. Live, as you mentioned, he is the next in line. Really, he could do with winning this race, but as long as he finishes 3rd or better, he's going to score a lot of points over Hesselden. For Dave the Harp, the opening laps went absolutely to plan. Since then, he's just gone backwards. He should... Well, you'd like to think he could catch Neotig and get past him, but really, Dave needs to be up with Live Bry.
Yeah, Farfber's had a bit of a moment, so that's got him out of the mirrors of Dave Hart. And he needs to get straight past.
He's having another one. He's having another one. He's just nearly lost it there around Coppice Corner. And it's very easy to do that. You get around the first part of Coppice and you think, yeah, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden you find yourself spinning on the second part of it. Driver Montana, he's got Woolhouse behind him. Probably can see him jumping all over the circuit. Oh, he's not jumping, he's drifting, he's drifting. I don't know if he's actually doing it, but now he's trying to overtake. I think he's either... Montana's in the pits.
Oh, Farf has got a power burst penalty. Either that or he's run out of fuel. He's not moving at all. I think Farf has run out of fuel.
Someone forgot to put the juice in.
No, the juice is back as he's been hit by a wandering Woolhouse who's wiggling all the way down the hill, and that's not the way. Oh, and this is not the way you want to overtake Lee Almo and Adam 4600 side by side. Paint scraping, and oh, the team boss of Lee Elmo will not be happy about that.
Oh, a huge flash of lightning there. We were hoping this weather may disperse a little bit, but actually I think it's getting worse, which is not going to make things easy for these drivers.
The forecast wasn't for constant rain, so hopefully this will blow over, but maybe it's here to stay. I mean, we've had 3 sessions with our qualifying. We've had practice and now we're having the race all the same. Driver
Montana is spinning. He's had a spin around Hollywood. I'm wondering if he's got the wrong tyres on the car.
Dave the Harp all over the back of Neotig. Neotig's covering him off just enough. Dave braking early. He's trying to put Neotig out of position, but Neotig has got decent grip through turn 1. Now they're heading downhill. This is going to be very intense. The last thing you want if you're Neotig is somebody buzzing up behind you, especially in wet conditions down here.
I mean, the old hairpin's a difficult corner in the dry. You put a few 100 litres of water on the circuit and it becomes a whole different story. It's really, really difficult.
Oh, Woolhouse, no, Woolhouse's glitching is getting even worse. I don't know where Woolhouse is going.
Well, maybe he's trying out the F1 design. I was going to say the F1 design circuit that they were planning for Donnington. I must admit, why they even thought about stripping off the circuit away and putting something new in, I don't know, because what they had planned was horrible. To be honest, I mean, basically, if you imagine Hockenheim, you go round turn 1, and what is now turn 2 up to the hairpin, they were going to do similar here. What is now the final chicane. So you'd come down the Dunlop straight, go into a hairpin, and then onto a Hockenheim style curve up to another hairpin, and it would have just ruined the circuit. Well, to be honest, it did ruin the circuit because it was out of action for a couple of years.
Alright. That was an utter balls up by the promoters at Donington Park, and it's an utter balls up by the promoters of Donington Park, saying they did notify us it was going to be wet, but they didn't say it was going to be this wet.
Well, all I can say is welcome to Derbyshire. GT Gavin is still in second place, but he can't quite keep hold of GBM Beardy. Live Bride's in third, but looking at their best lap times, he's 2 seconds off the pace at the moment. Neotig's still running fourth.
Beardy's just had a bit of a nightmare in the final chicane. Still got a decent gap to GT Gavin, but he did have a mistake, so he's showing he is human.
Now, Neotig, he's still running in fourth place, and he's still got Dave the Harp, I wouldn't say all over the back of him, but close enough, and Dave appears to be much more confident on the brakes. Is Dave going for the pits, or is he just at a moment? He's just at a moment.
No.
He was more confident on the brakes, but less stable on the throttle. 6th and 7th.
Now, Adam's going to have to be really, really cautious here. As Woolhouse, we know he's got bad glitching going on. Seems to have settled down a touch.
You know, now you've said that, it's going to get even worse. Oh, where's Adam going? Oh, he's having a bit of a moment there. I thought he was going for the pit lane, but he's not. He was just perhaps searching for a bit of a dry track. Farf, but in 8th place behind him. He'll be hoping to catch and pass, but he isn't going to do it by doing that. Taking the car off. Oh, we've got Woolhouse. He's off as well.
Elmo. Yeah, Woolhouse is off. Lee Elmo's through into 8th. Farf is now in 7th, and Adam, luckily for him, he's in 6th.
10th and 11th getting closer together. I'm fairly sure one of these has already pitted. I think we may have lost another driver. No, it is just Hesselden that we've lost at the moment.
And Dave is still all over the back of Neotig. I can see this being a battle that's going to be all race long, as their race pace is so similar.
Oh, Farfber and Lielmo McElroy taking each other for a hand-in-hand journey into the Coppice Corner gravel pit. And that's allowed Woolhouse ahead, who spun it.
Oh! Almost disaster as the driver, which we need to have words with these drivers about resetting
to track. Yeah,
that could have been an almighty crash that could have ended his race.
It's hugely advisable from all of the drivers to all of the other drivers to not use your reset to track button. It's not going to ghost you, and the chances of causing an enormous crash are quite huge. Okay, David Harp, he's still 5th. Adam 4600 is in 6th. But Dave and Neo, as you mentioned a few moments ago, still close.
Somebody jumping into the pit. We've already got
GT Gavin.
In the pit. Somebody else.
It's GT Gavin too from 2nd place. He's into the pits. Live Bry is continuing on, so he's going to move up to 3rd place. Is Neo, Tig and Dave going to get past as well? Now, I wonder if that's for fuel or for tyres.
Seems like a really long stop for Gavin. Oh, what's going on here? It's down in 5th and they're still in moving. Just getting going now. That was a super long stop. That must have been at least 30 seconds, and a normal pit stop would usually take about 20.
Well, he's got a healthy gap to 6th place at the moment. Adam 4600 only just now coming into the final chicane, the S's, and GT Gavin now around Redgate. But that's an interesting one, but
I think Neotig's just had a bit of a moment. Dave's just climbing all over the back of Neotig now.
I think for anyone that was watching the PCF race, I mean, pit stops can be for any number of reasons, as we saw Dave the Hart making a pit stop, 2 or 3 laps from the end of the race, which just had, I mean, I don't know if it had you stunned, James, when he did that, but it had me at a loss for words, which doesn't happen very often. The viewers were commenting with the acronym WTF, so yeah.
Well, when that happened, I've got to say I was grinning from ear to ear. I thought that was the championship over, and then he pulled into the pits, and I thought my car has done it. My car was kinder on fuel, and that won me that race.
I mean, you can save fuel in these in most of the cars. On project cars, a bit of lifting and coasting, bit of short shifting, but obviously Dave on that occasion did have to pit for fuel, didn't feel like he could get all the way to the end. GT Gavin, let's see.
Jones is all over the back of Lee Elmo. In P8, he's wanting P7, we're heading down into the final chicane, he's going for it, he's just nudged Lee Elmo. That was a bit late braking there from Jonesy.
It's hurt himself more.
And Jones is in the pit.
That almost looks like a little bit of damage on that car. Chris calls.
He's also in the pit.
And maybe it's just for tyres then for these guys. Chris Core in 9th. And he's got Live Bry behind him. So Chris Core, another huge flash of lightning. Chris Core's in a blue flag situation, but has gained positions down the start finishes. Adam 4600 now making his way out of the pits, as is Jonesy. Woolhouse now coming around the final corner. He pitted a few laps ago, I think, because when he came out, he started doing a few spins.
So Live Bry,
he's going to get close. Sorry, I think Woolhouse has just come down the start finish, and I think that's the race leader, GBM Beardy, who came out of the pits. Yeah, came out of the pits just next to him. Woolhouse has got to realise that this is not a guy he is racing, and just let him go. Let him go if you can. Follow him. So,
do you to know if Live Bry is pitted yet or not?
Live Bry has not pitted yet. No, he hasn't. So at the moment, he's the last of the late stoppers. Now, we're 11 laps into the race, so you've got to think that that's just for tyres. Them stopping at this point.
Must be. I mean, the weather looks like it's here to stay as the thunder and lightning keeps on banging away, and that's they've probably gone for another set of full wets.
Now, I'll tell you what, Neotic...
Dave is so close.
He is.
Just had a bit of a moment, and Beardy's catching them. Oh, we've got two cars side by side. I think one's going into the pit lane. I think it was Dave the Harp and somebody else.
I think that may have been Jonesy, who could be a lap down.
It's a back marker, yeah. Back marker behind Dave.
GBM Beardy's lead was such that he is right behind Jonesy, who is right behind Dave the Harp. And Dave the Harp has not pitted yet. Neither has Neotig. So this is a very sort of tricky situation for these guys at the moment.
Yeah. And this back marker, even though he feels he may be quicker, if he's going to make a move, he needs to make it cleanly. And by the looks of it, he's wiggling, he's off.
Yeah, he is. He's had a spin.
Now through.
He's getting very, very busy up towards McLean's.
This is going to be too easy. Is Dave going to defend this? No, he's not. He's braking late.
He's going wide.
He's going to go into the gravel. Oh, Beardy, he's through. He's up the inside, but he's squeezing him. He's squeezing him off. Dave's not going to be impressed with that driving. I mean, there's ways to get past people, and we do know it's tricky in these conditions, but that were a touch rude there from Beardy.
Rubbin's racing when it comes to GT cars. Oh, that was a massive flash of lightning there. Now for GBM Beardy, so go on.
Yeah, with Beardy getting caught up with these drivers that haven't pitted, GT Gavin's not too far away now.
I tell you what's interesting here. You've got Dave the Harp and Neotig. Haven't pitted yet. They've got lapped cars who are faster than them now because they have pitted and put fresher tyres on. No, my mistake. One of them is a lapped car. That's Woolhouse with a white roof. And then we've got GT Gavin too, who has also pitted. He's got fresher tyres on. So I think Dave and Neo are losing out now because of the older tyre.
Yeah, I think Beardy's going to be making a move. But we're saying that they're losing out. The gap that Livebry's got is absolutely massive, and he hasn't pitted yet.
GT Gavin's just gone for a bit of a risky move. Managed to just about hold it on track.
I think Beardy's got this move. Beardy's been nudged into off the grass. Is Dave going to be straight back through? I think he is. And where's GT Gavin? I think Dave the Art's making the move. He's gone straight past. GT Gavin going to make the move down in the final chicane. I think he's doing it. He's going for it. Oh, is he going to be able to keep control? Beardy's looking around the exit, and no, he's done it. Fantastic there from GT Gavin. How did he hold on to that?
And now GBM Beardy has just been overtaken by the lapped car of Woolhouse. So,
oh no, yeah. Chris Carr's off in turn one.
I think Livebry may have pitted because GBM Beardy, I think, has just moved up another position. No, Neotig's pitted. Sorry, my mistake. Neotig's pitted.
We're expecting some rain in the next 30 minutes, so try and push as hard as you can now and get ready to make a call on the tyres.
That's not what we want to hear from the race director.
Well, it's not the race director. That's Dave the Harp and GT Gavin too. Bit of contact and away they go.
No.
That's just let GBM Beardy through, but he's still surrounded by cars that have been lapped. He needs these guys to get out of the way.
Yeah, GT Gavin, he's up the inside of Dave Harp. He's gone deep. Dave Harp's snow mug, he's got him straight back.
But now GT Gavin too's having a look up the inside. I tell you what, Gavin's been looking very, very racy over the last few laps here. Some of his overtakes have worked, some of them haven't. But it's been absolutely frantic. There's Chris Court, blue flag situation, just getting out of the way, doing what a blue flag situation you should do.
Beardy's made the move. He's in P2 at the moment. Livebry's in the pits. Where is Livebry going to come out?
He's going to come out potentially in all of this chaos. But Dave the Harp, who has
just getting rolling now, so he's just going to come out behind Dave, but he's going to have so much fresher tyres.
Yeah, now Dave and Neo still... No, Neotig has pitted. Dave the Harp hasn't. I'm wondering whether Dave was just going to try and go as long as he could, hope for some dry weather, but it hasn't happened yet. Livebry's come out in fourth, Neotig's in fifth, just crossing the start-finish line now. I've got a feeling Neotig may have called this pit stop about right, because those guys who pitted 4 laps ago, they're going to have to stop again. Neotig may be able to get to the end, and I've got a feeling that that's what Dave's going to try and do as well. Going to try and get to the end on a 1-stop.
Well, the one thing that we know now, it's about half distance. Are we going to see... It's probably been about half an hour into the race. We know the rain is going to continue for half an hour. Is this the point to slap on another set of full wets and try and get to the end?
Well, we are just about at half distance, so I would say yes. Yes, definitely. There is a chance that this rain is going to stay. To be honest, we weren't expecting it to stay. Yes, the weather forecast was miserable.
Dave's in.
You're right, Dave is in.
Half distance.
But yeah, I mean, the weather forecast was miserable, but we were told there would be some dry weather.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that's not happening. I'll tell you what, Dave the Harp's losing out a lot here. Neotig was only just ahead of him. Now he's gone through. Dave is still stationary. So going the extra laps, Dave has lost out a lot of time, but he is on a 1-stop.
Has Neotig, has it changed his tyres? Because this seems like a huge gap he's got. Has it just come in for fuel, Neotig?
I do not know, but
I'll work it out from his current lap times.
Oh, GT Gavin 2 is off. He's off. That's going to cost him. Livebry, who's in 3rd place, may be able to capitalise here. Not close enough to overtake yet. And
no, it's Woolhouse that's wiggling. It was the Livebry.
It was the car ahead that went off, though. It was GT Gavin that did go off. As Woolhouse gets on the brakes early, lets Livebry go. So Livebry can now see the car ahead. Gavin's in the pits.
Yeah, the car ahead was not Beardy. Beardy's bolted. Beardy's down at the bottom of the hill.
Well, I do think that Beardy is going to have to stop again, but the gap between himself and Livebry in 2nd place is enormous. And Neotig's going to get himself up to 3rd. Yeah.
Where is GT Gavin going to... Is he going to come out just in front of Dave the Harp? I think he will. He's already rolling. I think he's going to be easily in front of Dave the Harp.
He's going to be a long way ahead of Dave the Harp. Now, you wondered about how that gap has been created, but we did see that Dave on older tyres was being caught by slower drivers on fresher tyres. Yeah. So it could simply be that. Now, Adam 4600, he's going off. That's one for the gravel trap. 6th place for him. I think he's got 7th place right behind him. Or is that... No, I think that's the race leader. It is, because 7th place is Jonesy, who's just coming down to the final chicane now. Leo McElroy!
The closest battle we've got is... Oh, no, it isn't. It's Woolhouse. It's coming up behind the back marker. Is that Dave the Harp?
It is. That's Dave the Harp's just gone past
Dave getting hassled by a back marker now?
No, I think Dave's gone past him, because Livebry went past him not that long ago, I think. Yes, Woolhouse let Livebry through a lap or so ago, so I think he's just realised he's in a fight that's not one to really be boxing in. And
these two up at the front are absolutely... I was about to say bolting away, but Livebry's just gone 3 seconds slower as we've got Beardy up the inside of
Adam 4600.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's Adam 4600 who's just been lapped then. So I mean, Beardy, I mean, thinking about it, we had the race at Sakito a few weeks ago where the weather was not that dissimilar to this, and Beardy was fast then. So maybe he's a driver that just loves it wet. I knew you'd say... We on about, hey, it was your mind that turned that into a dirty comment. I'm on about the rain, you're on about ladies' underwear. Oh, I don't know.
Talking about ladies' underwear, I think Livebry, listening to the commentary, he's nearly gone so deep into that final corner. He's got a back marker, almost took him out there. Who was that?
I think that was Jonesy losing control of the car.
That was so close to ultimate disaster, and he's trying to get in the pit lane. That's not going to work. That will. There we go. Most unconventional way in.
Now, GT Gavin 2 is in 4th place. I tell you what, James, I think it's getting a little bit brighter here. I don't think it's raining any gentler, but it just looks a little bit like the clouds are lifting.
Territory soon. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, if you watch a car that comes around the final corner, now you can actually see McLean's in the distance, whereas a couple of laps ago, all you could see was the raindrops. So this could all get a bit mixed up if the weather changes.
Yeah. I mean, what point do you go for the intermediate tyres? Is it when you see no standing water?
The sun is definitely shining. The sun is shining down at turn 1. Just jumped on board with Beardy. Let's go on to an onboard camera shot. Oh yeah, it's definitely not raining as hard.
Yeah.
The clouds are breaking up a little bit. We can see a bit of sunshine on the hills. I mean, what would you do? Would you go and chuck a set of intermediates on, knowing you're going to have to stop again in a few laps' time? Or are you just going to burn out these full wets until you can put a dry tyre on?
I'd probably try and burn these tyres until they turn into a slick. There's no point in jumping in for a set of inters and then 2 laps later having to jump in for another set of options. There's no point. You may as well run them, see how you get on, but yeah, it's definitely getting drier.
So for what could be the last 9 or 10 laps, then we may be seeing quite a few drivers into the pits for a different set of boots.
I think whoever's the bravest and whoever's got the most car control is going to gain heaps of time here, because it's still raining, it's still wet, but it's not drying up as quick as we normally do expect on project cars.
That is very true. Now, I mean, if you were live, Brian, 2nd place at the moment, Hesselden's out. Oh, we've got a spinner. I think that's Adam 4600. I was about to say, do you just take a gamble, chuck it in the pits, put a set of slicks on?
No.
But
Beardy's just come down the hill, and is that Adam? No,
it's Woolhouse.
Woolhouse has returned straight back to circuit, right on the racing line, and Beardy's just had to get full on the brakes, locking up like mad, and he won't be impressed with Woolhouse there.
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's one thing for us as commentators to sit here and say don't use the reset to track, but it's the drivers that really don't like it, because one minute you're going around a corner with nothing near you, next thing you know you've got a stationary car, and chances are you're going to get a shed load of damage.
And here we go, we've got the ultimate challenge for the drivers. They're all bombing round on a set of wets, however it's drying up, so there's no point in going to the intermediates. The intermediates will be the perfect tyre right now.
I tell you what, I think Live Bry, he's at a part of the circuit where, okay, it's still looking wet, but I reckon by the time he gets back here, it's going to be dry on the next lap. Oh, I'll tell you what though, you look at how much spray is still kicking up. Oh, yeah. It'd be a gamble.
It is the ultimate challenge. I don't think it's drying up as much as we would normally anticipate. So this is going to be an ultimate challenge. I think it's going to be Inter's weather for at least a few laps, and then it's going to go options. But how are these tyres going to cope in 3 laps of this weather?
Well, that is the question. I mean, looking at lap times, Beardy, Live Bride, they've just done 111s. Neotig's 112. GT Gavin's previous lap was a 110. And
that could just be because of the less water on circuit, but if
Gavin's going for the pits, Gavin's in the pits.
Yeah, there we go.
Now that could be for intermediates, but I've got a feeling that's going to be for a slick tyre. David Harp, he's followed him in. Dave's followed him in.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be challenging. It's going to be tough to generate heat, because there's still standing water on circuit. It's drying up, but there's still patches. If you get on them damp patches, that's it, spinning round.
Woolhouse is also in the pits, I think. Here's GT Gavin 2 then, about to leave the pits. We'll know if he's on a set of slick tyres, because it'll be a little bit twitchy.
Dave the Harp's on his way as well. Let's have a look at GT Gavin out of the pit lane. Has he got grip?
He's being cautious. I think he's on a set of slick tyres there. And I tell you what, it's looking very, very dry. Yes, there's some wet patches, but I think, oh, yeah, it's sunny, but there's a big crack of thunder there. I think Live Bright, he's in the pits.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needed to be as well. I think
Neo Tig and Beardy. Beardy's coming round to the pit entry now. He's got a massive gap over Neo Tig, and Beardy's carrying on. Neo Tig's got a long way back to the pit, but Beardy, is he going to lose the lead here? He's got a long way to go, and I know that I lost out massively by staying out at Monaco.
That you did. Livebry has come out of the pits. He's free from attack from behind for the moment. I mean, maybe it's one of those situations for Beardy where he's been comfortable on the full wet tyre, but it's definitely time for the dry tyre. I mean, looking at Craner Curve's old hairpin and the Schwanz curve, it's definitely dry.
Yeah, and the weather predictions have gone completely wrong because the sun is so low down now that the weather's passed over. This is going to be, and the thunder's still going, so I think there must be something going on with the weather around here. Really odd.
I tell you what though, I have been at this circuit when there has been a storm, and it's kind of in a sort of on top of a hill, but in a bowl is this circuit. So if a storm's within 4 or 5 mile, you will still hear it here at the track. But Beardy is now into the pits for what must be a set of dry tyres. Neo Tig is already in the pits.
A full lap.
Livebry though, he's just gone down the start finish.
Yeah, he's got into P2. Yeah. He's capitalised massively on these option tyres.
I tell you what though, GBM Beardy, although he's in the pit lane and Livebry's just gone past the pits, GBM Beardy is still in first place. So that's how much of a gap he had.
Full lap, yeah.
Massively impressive for those. Now Neo Tig has come back out on track in third place with GT Gavin quite a way behind him. Dave the Harp's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. He needs to get past those as quick as possible to try and work on fourth place.
6 laps to go and the sun is definitely getting really low. And this is... back mark has gone off in front of Dave.
Jonesy's had a few moments there.
Couple of moments. It's not nice. Whereas, yeah, the sun is going to be right in the eyes of the drivers, and this is not what they want.
I mean, they've gone from not being able to see too well because of the rain to now not being able to see too well because of the sun. Beardy comfortably in the lead though. Livebry only just coming round the first corner now. Neo Tig in third place. We could end up with a bit of a battle for second and third, possibly third and fourth, but other than that I think we're spread out enough now to for the drivers to take it easy for the last 5 or 6 laps, but I doubt they will. I don't know if you, James, want to work out if any of the runners a little further down are close enough for a fight.
Yeah, no, we've got Beardy who's a full lap out of the way of Livebry almost. Second and third are not too far away. I mean, Livebry's done the ultimate gamble there. He's pitted early for a set of options and he's jumped into P2. Took it off Neo Tig. Neo Tig's running a touch deep there, and GT Gavin, he's not too far behind either, but they're just far enough away to not be in any dirty air at all. And then we've got a massive gap from P5 Dave the Harp all the way back to Jonesy, who's almost a lap back.
Box. Let's see if we can fix it. We're going to lose a lap at least. Just take it easy.
From what we can see on TV, that damage looks light. Keep us steady on the way into the pits. Keep an eye out for the blue flag. Don't hold anybody up.
Suspension damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who that was because we also had an additional message then as well.
You've got a puncture, front right.
Someone's got a puncture.
You've got a puncture in the rear right tyre. Be careful on the high-speed corners.
Someone's got a puncture in the rear right tyre.
Very odd. The Chris car's going wide, but he's carrying plenty of pace. I don't think it's him.
Now, one thing we can say is, though, the engineers are usually fairly useless when it comes to weather reports because he said it was going to rain in half an hour and the sun's come out.
Yeah,
so exactly. Maybe the information about the puncture isn't quite right either. But Adam 4600, you know what, he was phenomenal in the Ginetta Juniors, stepping up the class to Ginetta G55s, GT3s. It's been a little bit harder for him. Woolhouse is in 9th, Chris Court 10th. And we've had at least 4 retirements from the race
So we've got 4 laps to go. What is the current standings as GT Gavin gets it all wrong into the final chicane? What will the current standings be if this continues?
Well, let's have a look, shall we? Now, Beardy. GBM Beardy currently on 35 points, so if he goes on to win this race, he's going to score 25, so that'll put him on 60 points. Hesselden will still be on 124. Livebry is in second place, I believe. Yes, he is.
Yep.
That'll be 20 points for him, so that'll put him on 105. So he'll be 19 points behind Hesselden with 3 races to go.
Whoa.
Dave the Harp, who is in 5th place, that'll be 11 points. That means he'll only be on 93. So still a lot of work to do. 31 points behind.
31 points, not a lot. We say it's a lot, but it's not if Hesselden keeps having these problems now when it's getting at the tail end of the championship.
That is true. I mean, Livebry will only need 20 points over him in 3 races, and Dave needs 31 over him in 3 races. It is possible.
Yeah.
Let's see. GT Gavin, he's in 4th place, so he would move on 51 points up to 64. He won't move up a position in the standings, though, because Adam 4600's already on 76 points. But Neotig, I mean, at the moment, he's on for a bit of a podium interview here. He's only got 30 points at the moment, and he's on course for scoring 16. So he's going to move himself on to 46 points and could find himself jumping about 5 or 6 places in the standings.
Yeah, and GT Gavin, he's now got some back markers in front of him. Oh, they're just getting out of his way, which is helpful because Dave the Harp's not too far behind.
I tell you what, though,
two laps to go, and that sun is so low.
You said you wanted dry running. We've got dry running. The race has gone boring now. See, Senna should have kept the rain on for us. But having said that, I mean, in the wet, Beardy was untouchable.
Yeah. I think the wet weather has just shown how good Beardy is in them conditions.
Very, very true. I mean,
we saw at the Suzuka, the
Sakito International Circuit.
Sakito, yeah. When it was raining, he came alive.
Oh, he definitely did. Now, he has only got this last lap to complete. He is on lap 31 of 31. Livebry isn't yet.
So the current order is Beardy, Livebry in P2, Neotig in P3, GT Gavin in P4, Dave the Harp in P5, Jonesy in P6, Lee Elmo in P7, Adam 4600 in P8, Chris Coy in P9, and Woolhouse in P10.
So Chris Core and Woolhouse have changed positions recently, because when I had a look a couple of laps ago, Chris Core was in 10th place, I believe. But GBM Beardy coming through the S's for the final time. What a race he has had. Well, it's not really been much of a race, has it? It's just been a walk in the park. A fantastic victory for him here in Donnington. What a way to take 5 points. Now, Livebry
to have a good time.
Oh yes. Now, Livebry, he's in 2nd place. He's showing 3rd at the moment, and he's in a bit of a race here. Although the car has now moved out of the way. No, it's Livebry moving out of the way for him, realising that he can't catch the car ahead, but he's going to have to make sure he doesn't lose it on this final lap.
I believe once the leader has finished the start-finish straight, the race is over for the rest of the field as they cross over. That
is how we do it. That is why I have a look at the standings just before the positions, just before the leader crosses the line. I tell you what, James, it's starting to rain again. But Livebry is going to cross the line in 2nd place. Senna must have heard me. It's just a little bit too late. But it'll be a fantastic 2nd place for Livebry. GT Gavin 2, it's showing him in 3rd place. Dave the Harp in 4th, but Neotig's crossing the line now to take his 3rd place. What a drive for him. What a way to end the race here. GT Gavin 2, 4th place for him. He gave it everything he's got, but it just wasn't enough. And then we've got Dave the Harp in 5th. How do you think he's going to be feeling?
I think he'll be extremely miffed about the amount of wet weather running there was in that race. Even we wasn't anticipating that much wet weather, and it just dominated the race. And unfortunately for Dave, it doesn't seem to be as strong in the wet as he is in the dry.
That is very true. I tell you what, we've got a bit of a battle going on here, I think, because they're laps down, they'll be heading into the pits. Adam 4600 and Chris Corr's cars going at it. And we'll have a look at the standings in a few moments' time, just to confirm it. Adam 4600's car does go for the pits, because there have been a few cars more laps down than others. And if we have a look here, Jonesy, Elmo, McElroy, Adam 4600 and Chris Corr all at least one lap down. Shame for them, but in a very interesting race. I mean, okay, Beardy ran away with it at the start, but everything that happened from second place onwards was enough to keep us entertained. I'm surprised though that the rain is coming back in here as the drivers are on their in-laps now. But anyway.
Yeah, it did the same at Monaco, didn't it? As soon as you came into the pit, it started raining.
Yep.
It does seem very odd. I'm just trying to get these drivers into a chat party right now.
Well, just before you do that, driver of the day. I think there can only be one person in contention for that, and that's GBM Beardy. Absolutely phenomenal today.
Yeah, untouchable. Nobody could touch him in that.
I don't know. Woolhouse did touch him. It just wasn't in the way that he wanted. We might have to hand Beardy a picture of his car and go, "Tell us where the nasty man touched you." Anyway, okay, let's get Beardy, Livebry and Neotig in for a quick podium interview. We'll try and not take too long on it, because I haven't had any dinner yet today. Now, while we just wait for those drivers to join us, I'll quickly have a look at where the next race will be for the PCS drivers. It will be...
Sorry, could you just send GBM Beardy invite? He's on my friends list.
Okay, yep. The PCS next Sunday will be 27 laps of the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. So the very short circuit at the Nürburgring. Surprised it's only 27 laps there, to be honest. Right, I've suggested GBM Beardy for you, so you'll be able to invite him now. But yeah, I mean, well, I suppose, yeah, Nürburgring, it's, I'm thinking Hockenheim myself. So yeah, the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit for 27 laps will be round 8. That'll be next Sunday from 8:30 p.m. And I tell you what, this championship has the possibility of really coming alive. I mean, Hesselden this season has spent the majority of it being quite confident, winning a few races, to completely dominant, to all of a sudden he doesn't seem to be able to finish a race, which is just giving all of the other drivers every opportunity of catching them up, or him up.
Yeah, like I say, he wasn't moving on the grid. He was rolling into the wall, and his championship was just rolling away from him.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out afterwards what did happen to him. But I have seen that I think Livebry and Neotig have joined us. Hopefully GBM Beardy will join us as well. So for those two that have joined us, if you could just quickly make sure that you've got your chat party settings to always allow your microphone to be shared. Otherwise, the viewers will not hear you, and we'll just have to make up stuff that you said. And trust me, you don't want us to do that. Now, for GBM Beardy, hopefully he will come and join us in a little chat here. He may not be aware that we're going to do a couple of podium interviews.
I don't think he's got an invite, to be honest with you. I think he's waiting for an invite.
Okay. Do you want to try and send him another one, James?
Beatty isn't on my list.
No, I've suggested him to you.
Oh, yeah.
You now have to go and invite him from the suggestion. Say, I don't know, James. I don't know. It rains a bit, and you just.
It's Sunday night.
It's not Sunday night. It's not gone dark on my screen yet. Although give it 2 minutes, and it will be. I don't know. Here we go. GBM Beardy joins us then for a quick chat. Beardy, if you could just please make sure that you've got your party settings to always allow your microphone to be shared. Otherwise, nobody will hear what you may have to say.
Yep, it's fine. Hello?
Okay, and if you could just turn your microphone up quite a bit as well so we can hear you. I may be old and maybe a little bit deaf, but if I struggle to hear you, that means the viewers will struggle as well. Well, what could we say? In qualifying, you were quite a step ahead of everybody else on the grid. In Sakito, it was a similar story. In the horrible conditions, you came alive. So is it that you just like the wet weather? Is it you like Donnington, or what? Tell us what had your pace there for you.
Well, it was a mixture of mixture of tasks, because I know Donnington quite well because I live near the track.
Me too.
And I just love the rain. I just love it, really do.
You know, James is sat there now thinking he loves it wet. I mean, I was saying in commentary though, it's raining around Donington Park. Welcome to Derbyshire. Now, if you live near this circuit, you'll know that it is the kind of weather we have around here. So I'll tell you what, throughout that race, was there any part of that race where you were thinking, hang on a minute, this might not go my way? And what made you go longer when the track went dry?
Well, for your first point, I was a bit worried about the back markers, trying to instigate them through and get through. And that was a bit of a worry, because I thought I'd mucked it up in that first pit stop. And I don't know really, it's strange.
I mean, there was one point where you came into the pit lane. I think you were on your
hate to
second
tell you this, but there is a major downpour expected in the next few minutes.
Sorry, James, I got a second. Can you repeat that? Because I've just had an engineer shout down my ear hole that they're expecting it to rain in about 10 minutes. So if you could repeat that question.
You pulled into the pit lane, Beardy, and P2 was still in the pit lane, just changing their tyres. So at that point, you must have thought, well, this has been a walkover.
Well, it came to that point where I thought I'm going to stay out on the wet, just in case, because in Sakito the same thing happened where I went onto the hard tyre and then all of a sudden it started raining again.
Yeah.
So I thought, I ain't going to take that for granted, because if I go in too early and it just starts to rain, then you kind of screw yourself up.
That's true.
We'd heard from our sources that it were going to be wet, but not the amount of rain we had were just unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was.
The boat.
Well, I'm sure you'll find some down at Shardlow Marina, which is just round the corner from the circuit. Anyway, well done, Beardy, to you. Fantastic drive there. We'll move on to second place, Live Bry. How tricky was that?
Very, very tricky.
And how frustrating was it when you made your final pit stop? You come past the pit lane, you pass Beardy, who's in the pits, and you're still in second place.
Yeah, I thought the one stop was going to work, and then it dried up, but it didn't. As soon as it dried up, that was my strategy screwed, to be honest with you.
I think a few people went for that type of strategy, and unfortunately it didn't work for you. I mean, is there anything that you can think of that would have made that race go more in your favour?
Yeah, not having the force feedback glitch on the wheel. The wheel was shaking like anything every time I turned in, and I just tried to nurse it round nice and slowly. Once I seen Essel didn't get disconnected, I had to stay in the race, basically. It opens up the championship, so I had to stay in.
How much were you laughing when that happened to him?
No, it's cruel. It is cruel. I won't laugh.
You will do now. Well, the thing is, I'm sure it was you last week who spun it on the final corner on the last lap, and you had to deal with that. Yeah, no worries. And you had to deal with that agony, but he's had to deal with it today. His only upside to it is that you didn't get 25 points, you've only got the 20, but you're only about 19 behind him now. So do you reckon you can get him?
It up a little bit. He'll still do a good job. I think he's still got it in the bag. I think he's more consistent at the other track. With Donnington being one of his favourites, I was hoping for a good race anyway. So.
Do you happen to know if Heselden's messaged you about his wheel or not? He managed to fix it, or is he had to run on the pad today in his quality session?
Wheel knackered as well.
Unfortunately, yeah. On Friday, he messaged me to notify me that his steering wheel had packed up.
I am actually on my number 4 of Logitech G29. They do break. 4? I think it's just jam.
Well, you might have to get yourself a Thrustmaster T300. I've had mine about a year and it's fine. But then saying that, I don't really drive much on project cars anymore. But anyway, well done, Live Bright. Fantastic second place there. Very much needed.
Well
move on.
Well done, Neo-Tig.
Cheers, mate.
We'll move on to Neo-Tig. Bloody hell, Neo, where'd that come from?
I don't know, to be honest. When I saw it was just thunderstorm, I just tried to keep it more consistent in speed. And when I qualified 5th, I was like, oh, well, that's better than I expected. And then, I just tried keeping it up at the front throughout the whole of the race. And Dave made me panic a bit.
Yeah, he's had a very good battle.
Yeah, he's quick at putting that pressure on as well. And it was good fun. When it started drying up, I was like Beardy and Live Bright. I was a bit nervous of putting on medium or hard tyres, so I just stuck out on the wets for a lot longer as well, and that's it, pretty much.
Well, it worked for you. What also worked for you was you pitted when it was still raining. You pitted, I think it was with about 16 laps to go. Or something around that, a few laps before Dave did. Now the gap between you before you pitted was minimal. The gap between you after you both had pitted was enormous. Would you say that was down to putting on a new set of wet tyres and that's what gave you the gap?
Probably, to be honest, because I just drove the same as I did before I come in. I didn't try and push harder or anything. It was just, let's just keep what I'm doing.
Consistency in that weather, that's what you need.
Yeah. Now, what we did see was a very difficult situation. I can't remember if you were caught in it as well, but we had, I know GBM Beardy was at one point, we had the front runners and back markers on the same part of the track. Some of the front runners were on worn tyres, while the back markers were on brand new tyres and were faster. I think there was you, then a back marker, then Dave, then a back marker, and Beardy, and then a back. It was absolute mayhem. So, what was it like in that situation?
For me, it was like coming down the hill. I think it was Leomo. He just gave the position up, like just got right out of the way, so it didn't really hold me up there. But coming up over the hill to the right with the sun in your eyes, G99 Jonesy is on the grass, but that just made me panic. It wasn't too bad.
And we also saw, I was on board with Beardy at the time, a car went off circuit near the end of the race and then reset back to track right on the racing line. I saw Beardy having to take evasive manoeuvres. At that point, Beardy, what were going through your head? Were you like, oh no, this is not what I need?
I thought, oh, there's a spinner, and I'm thinking to myself, don't do anything stupid.
Say what you really said in that party chat.
I was like, I just saw all of a sudden this car reset and thought, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then that was it really. I was just bricking it.
Yeah. There needs to be a notification to go out to all the drivers saying if you reset back to circuit, there's going to be a harsh penalty because.
Well, hang on, James. I don't mean to stop you there. There won't be a harsh penalty. There just won't be an invite. I'm not going to start imposing penalties on the Project Cars racers because it takes us down a rabbit hole that I'm not interested in going down. But none of the drivers should be hitting that reset to track button because all it does is create crashes. So basically what we'll do is if a driver is going to be using the reset to track option, we just won't invite them to the next event. So for any of the drivers that are using reset to track, don't, because as we've seen today, I mean, there was a situation where before the Dunlop straight, car went off, reset to track, 2 cars come round the corner and had to go either side of them. Could have been an absolutely enormous crash. But yeah, I don't want to go down the route of imposing penalties, because then you have to work out how much the penalty is, then alter the timing, and it's all a lot of hard work that's it's better not to have to do when you can just not send them an invite. So anyway, final comments, final questions.
Yeah, Beardy, you've come into this championship and you've been absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to think of better words to say than fantastic. Do you feel it's just the wet weather, or do you also feel like in dry conditions you could have been as strong?
In dry conditions, at Bathurst I had a wheel glitch myself, and I mean, I was running in that front pack. It was just unlucky that when I was turning I just had no confidence. In Laguna Seca as well, that was my mistake by just putting a wheel on the curb and spinning the car when I was in contention.
Right. So, for the rest of the season, what are your plans? Are you planning on winning everyone from now on?
I'm hoping so. I mean, everybody's out there to win, to be honest. I mean, that's what we're all here to do. It's what we're here to achieve.
That is true. Right, we're going to bring it to an end here then, so you'll have to join us next Sunday to see if Hesselden were able to actually pull off from the start line, or whether Beardy or Livebry can go and beat him, or whether Livebry or Dave the Harp can fight Hesselden for the championship. Anyway, next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be at 7:30 PM on Wednesday for round 8 of the Front Row Racing World Championship on F1 2015, which will be at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. So thank you very much, everyone. Well done to our podium sitters here. Thank you very much, James, for joining us in the commentary box once again.
I don't know, no problem. Good racing.
Well done all.
Thank you very much, everyone. We've been Front Row Racing. This has been the PCS League. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.